You're muted.
Good. Oh, good thing you told me right away. Somebody, who was it that didn't tell me the other day that I was muted and I was talking the whole time? I think it was Elliot. Be just like him. Welcome, everyone. This is April Marie from beautiful, sunny Florida. I love to say the beautiful part. Welcome, big special welcome if you're new to this hangout and you haven't been on one of these yet. I know Amanda's new. She's brand new to our team, and this is her first time on, so welcome, Amanda. Just look how beautiful she is. She's a model.
Amanda.
Yeah. So we're, you know what, tonight is a really awesome topic. I picked it all myself. And really, you know, for me anyways, what I see a lot of the times with people is that they come into their business and they set the wrong expectations for themselves. They are completely off on really what to expect when growing their business or starting their own business. And what ends up happening is they set themselves up kind of for failure because they have all these great big expectations thinking that they're going to come in and, fire their boss in 2 months or something, or a day sometimes, and then they find out that that's not the case. So tonight I really want to talk about that, and I want to talk about getting your mind right, making sure that your mindset is right so that way when you're coming into your own business, or maybe you're just even right now just struggling with mindset issues, belief, fear, whatever it is, but really getting your mind right and understanding that, part of entrepreneurship is a process. It's not like I don't know one person that came into the industry with like the perfect mindset. So it's always something that you always want to continuously be working on and growing as an entrepreneur. And that's one of the amazing things that I love about this industry is that you get like the best mindset training for free practically, a lot of it. And in fact, it's so funny because when I started in my home business, I had no idea what like mindset really meant. That was not a household name at my house. So, talking about the right type of mindset, positive, whatever you want to say, that was not something that was talked about in my, growing up. And I think that's the case for a lot of people. So they might not understand that a lot of the stuff that happens with having a successful home business or having struggles or anything like that is because of mindset issues. So I'm going to introduce everybody really quick. We've got a full panelist lineup, and I'm going to start from right to left. If you want to come on, guys, just unmute your mic and just say hi. I love to see your faces, and I always love to see you guys. So from right to left, I'm going to start Mary Noonan from North Carolina. How you doing, Mary?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing good. I love your background.
I'm getting ready to get my green screen, so that's going to go away sometimes.
Yeah, that should be arriving soon, right?
Tomorrow.
Yeah, do you have Prime with Amazon?
Yeah.
I'm addicted. Yeah. I just ordered a new juicer and all kinds of stuff. I'm addicted. I'm Amazon freak. Yeah. I live out in the country.
I'm switching all my business.
What?
Yeah, I'm switching all my business expenses onto that card, onto my Amazon card, so that, all the technical stuff that I need to buy, like the green screen thing that I bought, I got $42 off because I had $42 in my Amazon, whatever that's called.
Yeah, so that's cool. I love Amazon. Maybe we'll talk about your green screen. I never talked about it before, really. Anyways, well, and you guys are like outside of the conversation right now. We'll be in a second. Let me introduce everybody.
Get a room.
Right. Yeah, get a room. We'll get a room. Malia, we haven't seen you in a while. San Diego representing. How you doing?
Hello. I know. I feel like I haven't seen you in forever since you hit L5 at least. I have not seen you.
I know. I don't really talk about that. Everybody keeps mentioning it, and I'm like, oh yeah, I'm L5.
Yes. So it's always great to be on. We started school yesterday, so now I'm back in the whole
oh my gosh,
mom, all of that stuff. So yeah.
That's what I'm waiting for. I've been super busy. It has been crazy here with kids football and now tumbling. We're in tumbling now. Lots of stuff going on. How you doing, Amanda? You want to come on and say hi to everybody?
Does she know she has to
Oh,
unmute?
you have to unmute up at the top of your screen.
Oh,
Her first time getting up. There she is.
Go.
hi everybody.
How are you doing?
Oh, good, you. All you guys
Good.
look great.
What's that?
You guys look all great.
Oh, so do
Wonderful.
you. Hey, Amanda,
Thank
I
you.
forget where you're from, where you live.
Vancouver, Washington.
Washington.
Yeah.
Oh, Chin lives in Washington, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, I
she
think
does.
so.
Okay, that's what I thought. So awesome, awesome. Welcome, first time here, and I'm really excited about that. Amanda joined, her and her husband joined MLSP, I think, like 2 weeks ago, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, she's still pretty new, so that's awesome. Love having new people on, and congrats for coming on live. Not everybody does that, so I'm glad to see you're on. Not the first, like, not the first month.
and get more comfortable, you know. So.
That's good. That's good. Now we've got Jeff over there in Tennessee. How you doing, Jeff?
Good. How's everybody doing?
I'm doing good. You're
Good.
always on.
I try. I like to learn.
I love that, Jeff, because that shows me you're always showing up. That's like 80% of success is just showing up.
If that's the case, I got half the battle over with then.
Yeah, you do. And you don't have your scrubs on today.
I actually changed when I come in for a change because I'm always on in my scrubs.
You're like, I'm gonna surprise April. I'm gonna put my tights.
Elliot inspired me. He's always casual. I'm like, I gotta be like Elliot and be casual.
Yeah. You would have to get a Badgers hat. I was gonna say Dodgers. Sorry, Elliot. I know that's
Texas guy probably. He's got a Titans shirt on there. That's cool.
yeah. I don't know what Titans are.
Don't know if we're gonna have a good year this year or not, but we'll see.
It's Tennessee. What am I talking about? I was talking about Texas. Jesus.
And of course, we've got Elliot, new L3 in MLSP.
And member of the month, my modest self
And
must
member
tell
of the
you.
month. What do they call that?
What?
Member of the month. MOTM. Yeah, you're an MOTM.
Yeah, you know. I won't go into this right now, but what you were talking about in the beginning kind of struck something with me, so I got to remember to speak up. Welcome. Hello. Good to see everybody.
Good to see you. I'm glad you came in. You were actually on time. You were on more on time than I was.
I came directly from a party, so I wasn't sure if I was going to make it back or not. Sorry, I party without you.
I know. I heard it was a fun party.
It was good. Live music. It was fun.
That's good. We've got Adriana. How you doing, Adriana?
Hi guys.
Florida girl in the
Can you hear
house.
me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Oh, okay.
Virus database has
Oh, now we don't hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. Hi everyone.
Hi.
Hello.
Florida girl. We got two Florida girls.
Actually, I'm a Jersey girl stuck in Florida.
You're stuck way down there. Wow. Well, you would have wanted to come back here.
Stuck
this
in
past week.
paradise.
You like paradise, don't you?
Yeah, it's beautiful out here. Can't complain.
Yeah, it was hot today though. Very hot.
Very
It's
humid.
gonna get hot in August. It's gonna be hot. So we're gonna be sweating, and we're gonna be inside building our business.
That's right.
So, anybody want to, start it off? I mean, you guys got something on your mind right now?
Yes, I do. I have a lot on my mind.
Okay, good.
April.
Bring it.
I think so early on she joined a little, right around the same time I did, I think. Maybe a little bit before me. Right, Malia? In MLSP?
Yeah.
So,
Yep.
so you and I, came into this team at the same time where, at least from my perspective, my wife has always been very supportive, and, I've got friends and that do different things and whatever, but I never really had a group of people that all of a sudden I could hang out with every week and talk about business and online marketing and things that I was always really into, but didn't really have that kind of sounding board to get feedback on and relate to and those types of things. So for me, the biggest part of my change in mindset early on was this team. The people on this team helped me feel great. Like Amanda's on tonight for her first time. I remember the first time I came on with this team, I was like so freaking nervous, and I was like, I don't think I'd ever done like a hangout or anything like that before, besides like maybe Skyping with family or something like that. And so it was like I didn't know what to expect, but like everyone was so like inviting and it was so fun. And the way that we've always run this is so it's casual, but there's always like a lot of value that you can pull out of it. And you're talking to Jeff about showing up. Like I dedicated myself 100% to just showing up every single week to these, to every call I could get to talking to April on a regular basis, to all these things, that keeping plugged into that system that, a lot of us are in these, situations where, like I said, we're not getting positive feedback from coworkers at work about, building a business on the side. That just doesn't exist. So to be able to plug into a group that is constantly giving you that feedback you need was life-changing for me. So what was the topic of this webinar, April?
Setting the right expectations for your home business and mindset.
Let me chime in there, Elliot, because I think that is really true. And I talked to Darren yesterday just to check in, and because he started around the same time we started as well, and it's kind of like, like it was us three competing against each other and cheering each other on and celebrating and rank advancing together, and we have that camaraderie. Sometimes I feel like I have a different bond with you, Elliot, than I do with anyone else, just because of that reason. And of course, live the dream as well. But and that's another reason. Like you guys all know, like when I went to the hospital, like April was the first person I told, because I spend more time with you guys. Obviously I told my husband, but you guys are the people that I spend time with, and that's another reason why it was so important for me to come on when I was in the hospital. I didn't have makeup on, I had oxygen in my nose, but during that time I hit L1, and it's really important to show up, because I just think the camaraderie and the kinship really drives you and motivates you to be better, and it doesn't even have to do with rank advancing or anything like that, just as a person, because you're excited. Nowadays I talk to Mary every day, and half the time I just pick up the phone because we're like typing back and forth, and Mary and I will talk for an hour just about nothing, and you guys are my friends. You're the people I spend time with. So I think it is important to plug in, and you do miss each other when you're not there, so I think that's a really, really good point. And not only that, just to tie it into mindset, plugging in has a huge deal to do with mindset, because when you surround yourself with people that are doing what you want to do and that are being who you want to be, you start to become like them, and so just showing up and being a part of a group of people that are moving and shaking, it really helps you to change your mind and start doing the things that they're doing, because you want to be a part of that group. So
yeah, that's so dead on. That is just so dead on. It's like, it really is, there's probably people watching which is great. I mean, it's great to like see us and get to know us and who these people are and what they've done to get here, but it's completely different when you decide to click that other link and come on live and start that interaction. So I remember the first time I tried to get on, the first week I joined, I couldn't get on. I think it was full. So I got on like 20 minutes early the next week because I was like, every week I want to get on there and interact. So I mean, that was a big thing for me when I started. So
I think that you have to get in the game. You can't live life from the sidelines. You have to get in the game, and that's what this is about. I don't think I've ever watched this hangout on YouTube. I think from the first week they happened and I was in the team, I was on because I wanted to be April. Like, I wanted to have what she has. And part of that was showing up and not just being a spectator.
Right.
And that's the people who get on these. I mean, we're in the game. We're talking to an L5 leader in MLSP, an L3 leader. We are learning and doing what they're doing so that we can have what they have.
Yeah. No, that's very true. I see a lot of people, they sit on the sidelines, and that's what actually, ultimately, they don't realize it. They think they're moving forward by watching, but in reality, they're actually holding themselves back because they're not getting in the game, like you're saying. I mean, I love what you just said. That is so true.
Well, and a lot of it is a comfort zone thing, and that's a lot of people. I mean, I was extremely uncomfortable. I'm sure the first time Aaliyah got on here, she was uncomfortable. I'm sure Amanda's not completely comfortable today. She's on camera with a bunch of people she doesn't know. Jeff's pretty.
Warm up.
Remember that lady who was drunk? She was real comfortable.
We've had people come on.
We had no problem.
Hopefully Scott Wilson doesn't show up. We'd all be in trouble.
But you know what I mean, though. But it's getting out of that comfort zone, and putting yourself in new situations all the time and having that support around you to encourage you. Like, I remember Mary's first video and Adriana's first videos that they started doing, and I know they were nervous when they started doing them, but they're both so freaking good at video. Mm-hmm. It's like, just doing those things and getting out of that comfort zone is and I'd like to think that this group helped encourage that and make that happen and make it actually rewarding to do those things, because they had the support and the congratulations and wow, that's awesome, because it's awesome when people do that. It doesn't even matter what the content is at the end of it. It's like, wow, that person just took a huge step for themselves, and that really is exciting to other people that know what that feels like,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It is. And you want to surround yourself with people that are like-minded, and that's why I love these hangouts. But a lot of people, like you're saying, just don't step out of their comfort zone. One of the things that, like a lot of people, like when they're, let's say you want to get into shape, and you start going to the gym. I'm sure there's going to be days that you don't feel like going to the gym. I know there's days that I don't feel like working out, and I'm like, I don't feel like it. And then you just have to, like, make yourself. It's kind of like that. If you're really, like, scared right now, or you feel uncomfortable getting on or whatever and coming on live with us, then that's just one of those things that you're just going to have to say, just do it and do it, because once you're on, you're going to see it's not that big of a deal. Like, we're all real people and everybody's cool, and I don't even pay attention to who's watching anymore. I mean, I try to, like, talk to them, but, these are more like mastermind hangouts. They're not really like, we're sitting here just talking and having some fun. That's the idea. It's not just fun, but really share ideas and mastermind. And then, of course, if people want to watch and get some of our hot tips, they can do that. So yeah. So let's go back to, I really wanted to talk about setting the right expectations for your home business. I think there's a lot of things we could cover tonight in one night. I don't even know if we'll be able to get to all of it, but
let's just do a 4-hour hangout. Let's just do it. Let's do everything tonight, April. Wired up.
You must have too much fun at the party. I might have to go get the wine. Because I kind of want people, because we were just talking about like when Malia joined, Elliot joined. I want people to really think, because sometimes it's hard. Like I've been doing this for 4 years now, so now sometimes it's kind of hard for me to think back to what it was like. It's like I don't recognize that person way back when I started. But I remember having all these different feelings and emotions and fear and inadequacy and just feeling like I wasn't, I didn't know what I was talking about, so who was going to listen to me, that kind of stuff when I got started, especially in My Lead System Pro, because you see all these big leaders, on the webinars, and you're like, oh, I can't compare myself to them. How could I ever do that, So I think setting yourself up with the right expectations to understand the process that happens. I mean, Elliot, think back to when you got started. How did you feel? Did you feel like, sitting, looking at, like last night on the webinar with Ray Higdon, I mean, did you watch some of those webinars and say, I don't know if I can do that? Did you feel kind of like,
oh, here, this is a great example, and Malia probably remembers this because it was like, I mean, granted, I had had several drinks at the time, and for those of you that know me, I actually don't drink very often, so this isn't an actually related incident to tonight. But so if Malia's on, so at Live the Dream 4 last year, Ray Higdon had talked that day, and seriously, I looked at Ray Higdon like, oh my God, it's Ray effing Higdon, right? That's what I thought, right? And now Ray's a great trainer, he's a great guy, but I also know at this point he's just a guy that worked every single day to get better and better. But so I go up to Ray at this after party thing, and Ray's like, I don't know, 6'5" or something like that. He's like,
no, he's like, not.
Yes, he is. He's like humongous.
Are you joking?
That's funny.
No, I'm serious. Well, okay, maybe
he's Rayzilla.
Ray's like 5'9".
That's his new name, Rayzilla.
No, he was
drunk.
You had your beard goggles on, Elliot.
Yeah.
No, I was 6 foot. He was way taller than me, unless he was standing on a chair.
He is not taller than you.
Yes, he was.
He's like Jeff's height. Like
it's all about perspective.
Okay, let's stop talking about his height. Go on.
All right. Sorry, Ray. So I go up to Ray, and I'm like, I put my hand out. I'm like, I really like blogging.
Like, can I have your autograph too?
And then I like turn around, and Malia's like, "That's all you're gonna say?"
Maybe you were memorable.
I'm like, I don't know. But
well, that's better than me. I was scared of everybody, so I didn't talk to anybody.
But so yes, to your question, April, I shouldn't say I didn't think I had what it takes to actually make something happen, but it was intimidating at first. I mean, that was like my 3rd week in MLSP, so I was still pretty new, but I was definitely intimidated. So a lot changes in 9 months if you work it every day.
Yeah, it's a little intimidating. I think when you're first getting started, you feel a lot of different feelings. It could be intimidating. You could feel just fear, like not knowing what to expect. That's why I wanted to cover this. I think people don't understand really what to expect when getting started. Understanding that the feelings of inadequacy, the feelings of fear, maybe you lack belief in yourself and your business, whatever. These are normal feelings. And the main thing is, and this is how I overcame it, like when I first got started, seriously, when I started in My Lead System Pro, which, by the way, if anybody's watching and they don't know what My Lead System Pro is, it's a system that we use to generate leads for our home business, and it has training and all kinds of great stuff. You can always check a link. I'm sure there's somewhere around here a link to check it out. But when I started, I didn't know what Facebook was. I didn't know what Twitter was. I didn't know what blog. You said, I like blogging to Ray Higdon. If you would have said that to me, I would have been like, what's a blog? I seriously would have. I had to Google it when somebody said I should have a blog. So for me, I felt almost dumb, like when I came in. Like I was like, this is all new language to me. it was almost like learning Spanish, going to a foreign country and having to learn a new language because I had no idea. So when I would look at, and back then, like Todd Falcone would be on, I mean, real big leaders, Mike Dillard, I mean, we really, like back then, things were pretty different, So when I'd get on the webinars and I'd be like, oh my gosh, these people were like famous to me. Like they were like untouchable. Like it just was like, I don't know. And now I understand why when people call me, they're like, oh my gosh, is that really you? Now I understand why they do that.
Yeah, but April, that's exactly the thing. It's not different than it is now.
No, but I mean, it was like different, like people is what I mean.
Yes, but the perception of the people that are on the Wednesday webinars now is exactly the same as your perception of Mike Dillard 5 years ago.
Right.
4 years ago. It's exactly the same.
Yeah. And Mike Dillard was speaking at Live the Dream.
But that's why, and now all of a sudden, you're sitting in the chair of those people.
Yeah.
Who, I mean, and yes, it's a process, but it is what happens. It's what happens to the people that put in the work every day.
Right. So when I remember when I first got into MLSP too, though, one of the other things that really, I just felt very overwhelmed with it wasn't like information. I always hear this information overload. It wasn't like that. It was just like feeling like overwhelmed that I had to learn all this stuff. like starting, sometimes if I really sit back and I think about like day one, what would I do starting day one and all the work, if I had no blog anymore, I had no YouTube, no list, no nothing, having to start over, I mean think like that. Would you feel overwhelmed? You would feel overwhelmed if all of a sudden like you had no blog, you had no YouTube channel, and you had to start all over again, and get that all set up because you know what kind of work you've put into your business this far. So to try to think, oh my gosh, let's say for Adriana, she's been in MLSP for quite a few months now, to put, I don't know, 3-6 months, whatever it's been, into, a few weeks because you need to get, because you lost everything and now you got to get it reset up. I mean, that's kind of how people think. They think that they need to hurry up and get it done in their first few weeks, and that's not the case. I think really what people really need to really focus on is their long-term vision, so where they want to be in the next 6 months, instead of looking at the big picture of all these different things that they have to do. Because when I first got in MLSP, that's how I thought. I thought, oh my gosh, I got to set up an autoresponder, I got to go through all this training, I've got to go figure out how to upload a video on Facebook, and then I found out I needed a blog, and so now I was like, oh my gosh, I got to learn all this stuff about blogging, and I don't know where to start, So I think one of the biggest things for me that probably would have helped me back then is slow down, April. Think of My Lead System Pro as an education, like college, really, because that's really what I had to start thinking of it as, because people go to school for years upon years before they can actually even go out and get a job or in whatever field they're in, and then they have to pay back all their money, and it's just a mess. I really had to think of MLSP as a cool school that would pay me for referring other people to it. So if I were to start over, or if I were to talk to somebody brand new, and I talked to a lot of brand new, I would tell them not to think that they have to eat the whole apple all at once, to get in and go step by step and not try to overwhelm themselves with tons of information. I see a lot of people too, they'll come into MLSP, and what they'll do is they'll, and actually the one lady, Malia, you remember the one with the wine that was on the Hangout, she did this. She couldn't figure out what she was missing here, and she started in Academy, and then somehow ended up all the way into Lord knows bonus. I don't even know where she was. Like, she was in marketing strategies and learning something about Facebook and all this stuff. She was like out in the middle of nowhere, and I had to like go find her and bring her back to the Getting Started training, because she was way out there in like the jungle of MLSP and all this training, and she was like, she was calling me up like crying practically that she was like, this is just too much information. I just don't know what to do all this. I'm like, where are you? Oh, I'm trying to find you. Where are you? You know, the thing is that, you know, you have to follow the instructions. You can't go, like, you can't, like, detour off the map and go somewhere else and you would end up, like, getting eaten by a cougar or something. Because, you know, you never know what could happen. But you want to make sure that you follow instructions. And that's why I always tell people, follow the yellow brick road. You know, it is kind of sometimes, you know, if you ever remember watching The Wizard of Oz, but, you know, the yellow brick road, there's a lot of obstacles and things that happen on the yellow brick road. They're following the yellow brick road. And that's kind of how MLSP is. You're following the yellow brick road, and of course there's a learning process, there's a learning curve, but you have to continue to follow the yellow brick road or you're never going to get to where you need to go.
Definitely. I have a person on my team who is on the Rob 4 webinar, and it was awesome. He's a really great speaker and trainer. And then he's ready to buy Rank and Stick and Audience Builder Pro and the content, like the whole shebang. And I'm like, you don't have a blog. What are you gonna do with all that stuff? You know, and you know, sometimes we let the whatever the saying is, the cart get in front of the horse, or whatever. Things can get really exciting, and there are a lot of webinars and a lot of people trying to tell you something, and sometimes you have to really step back. And you know, my first question is, have you made it through the Getting Started training?
Yep.
Let's start with that. And then once you get there, let's pick a marketing strategy. Once you pick a marketing strategy, then I can advise you on what to purchase. But you can't purchase all this stuff and have nothing, you know, not know what to do with it. And another thing is that I noticed, I know for me personally, when I came in, you know, people in the community said, congratulations, welcome, but it seemed like then the vultures came out, and people trying to get me into their companies, and so I not only had the distraction of, you know, trying to get through the Getting Started. It took me quite a while to get through that. The only reason I think I got through that is because Darren was like, I'm going to finish tomorrow, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I've been in MLSP longer than you, and I'm still not done. I have to finish before you do. So Darren and Elliot make me really competitive. So that's the only reason I think I finished it. But then people were like, join my company, or, you know, doing the whole, now that I've been in MLSP, I see the sales techniques, you know, and see how people phrase questions and find out the problem. And then, of course, their company is the magic solution. I can see through it now. But before, I couldn't. And so I felt like I was pulled in a ton of different directions and not able to really focus on the task at hand. Do you want me to keep talking?
Yeah. I didn't know if you were done. It was kind of like abrupt.
Back to you, April.
Yeah, it was like abrupt. I'm like, is she done?
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. I got stuck in training mode for a long time. Like, I had to learn everything. I went through every module, and I wasn't putting out content. So I got stuck in training mode, and that was my downer. And so I did the video, and Elliot, I remember you saying on the video that it sounded like I wanted to rip your head off or something like that, if I remember.
Well, you were. I mean, I do remember you were very excited, and I mean that kind of thing is really contagious. So I don't know. I probably meant it in a good way.
Yeah, I know. I was just trying to hide my nerves.
Adriana's rocking it, you guys. She's not really like strutting it or anything like that, but she's signing people up and she's putting out some content like crazy, and I'm just really excited. because it's like night and day. When I met Adriana, I have to be honest with you, Adriana, I wasn't sure you were going to stay very long. I mean, you kind of were like iffy, you know what I mean? So to see that you have pushed past that point to now where you are signing people up, you're rocking it in your primary, and your videos are amazing. They really are. They're really good. You're so well spoken, and I know that people are, digging them. They have to be. So it's just so awesome to see. It really is, and I wanted to congratulate you on that, on your success and all that's happening. I can't wait to see you at Live the Dream.
I know, same here.
You know what's so cool is everybody's got their eye on a goal for Live the Dream. So everybody's like L1, L2, L3. I hear it L4, L5. People have got their eyes set on goals. So I see like these next few months before Live the Dream, you guys are gonna be cranking it out. I know it, and I know Mary's got a plan too. So don't you, Mary?
I do. Starting Saturday, it's gonna be pretty crazy, but it's gonna be great. I'm really excited. I actually have spent the evening. I've got now. I need 60 pieces of content. I've got 17 right now.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yep.
You got 17 already done today?
No, I've got the keyword research and the basics done.
Okay, good.
And so I've got 60 days.
There you go. And Mary, okay, so we were talking earlier about Amazon, and I'll tell you why. Recently, well, a few months ago, I got a green screen, like a big one that like fits your whole wall. You're gonna need room for it, Mary. It is really big. Like I don't know, how big is it? Like 10 feet? I think.
Yeah,
wide?
I think so. Yeah.
It's really wide. It might even be like 12, or maybe even 15. I mean, it's really wide. And then she got the lighting, so she's gonna be cranking out some fancy videos with not just the trees in the background, but with some cool stuff. And you know what you can do too, Mary? And this is what I wanted to do. I haven't done it yet. You're probably gonna beat me to it, just because I've been crazy with kids at home. But what I wanted to do is put the PowerPoints like in the background, so when you're talking, and Jeff actually did a video like that. It turned out really cool. Like he's just got the PowerPoints going in the background while he's talking and speaking. So he did
saw that. I mean, I didn't see Jeff's, but I saw on Camtasia's site their upgrade 8.1 and what you can do. I was like, ooh, that's exciting.
Yeah, so Jeff's been playing with it for a while. I just haven't. It's been crazy busy here with kiddos around and too much going on. Summer! I wish I was like Malia. My kids were back. They're going back. Well, they're going back the 18th of August, so a few more weeks.
Man, I thought school didn't start until like September.
Up north it does.
Yeah.
How old are your kids, Elia?
3.5 and.
You have a while.
No, maybe preschool.
A baby, obviously.
Yeah. Kason will start like pre-K thing. I think next fall. I forget. I don't know. I forget what the order is. He starts something this fall, but it's not like preschool. It's like preschool.
Transitional kindergarten? No.
It's like a two day a week kind of thing.
Yeah, my kids did. My oldest son did like 3 years of preschool. He did that one first year, and then because we found out his birthday his birthday's December 7th, so he was like 7 days after the cutoff. So he couldn't go to kindergarten, but we didn't find out till too late. So he ended up doing 3 years. Yeah. That was nice, though. Nice break for mommy. So anyway, so let's go back on the topic. Sometimes I get off and I go on a little rambling, tangent. So let's talk about the things, setting up the right expectations. So Malia, what are some things that you wish you would have known, like when you were getting started, that you know now today?
I think for me the biggest thing is still creating content every single day. I think that just understanding that we're content marketers, that this is really a content-driven type of industry. I think that would have helped me. I would have been more focused on just getting content out there instead of, you know, tweaking my blog or making it look different, or, you know, sometimes I go through entire days and feel busy and am busy but not productive. And so I think in the beginning, if I would have understood that the most important thing that you have to do today is get out a piece of content and email your list about it, I would have been in a better position.
Yeah, it's so hard for people. Go ahead, Mary.
I think for me, it's having a better understanding of the fact that everybody is starting from a different spot. So, April, I was a lot like you. I'm sure y'all remember. I knew nothing. I knew nothing. And I was Googling constantly on Hangouts, like, what are they even talking about? And I was getting very, very frustrated because I was seeing people have success, you know, well, I thought it was quickly. Because, you know, we always hear the term they were an overnight success, but we don't realize that they have 5 years of, you know, work in the background that we never even heard about. So I think it's important when anybody starts to understand that, you know, you're starting from a different spot than anybody else, and not to focus on what everybody else is doing, but just make sure you focus on what you need to do to move forward. And if I had known that, I think I would have saved myself a lot more frustration.
That is so powerful. That really is, because that is so common. It really is. I mean, I've had so many conversations with people who are like, well, how did you do that in 6 months? Well, you know, I've had my website for 10 years. You know, I've been blogging on it for 2 years, and it just happened to be when I came into MLSP, I had momentum going. There was still a lot of stuff to overcome, but yeah, you don't see that. And so, especially with anyone when they're talking about, and MLSP is great at this, and you should learn how to copyright like this. But you know, she I'm trying to not to give away who it is. Screw it. She retired her husband from corporate America in 6 months. Yeah, well, that's true if you start the 6th month at, you know, when she started MLSP. But in reality, that's not exactly how it happened. But those stories are those stories happen all the time. And it's fine. They're marketing strategies to emphasize that, you know, certain people can do this very quickly. Not everybody, but you know, God, Mary, that is just such a great point, because I had the exact same struggles early. Was thinking, how the hell did somebody do this so fast? You know, but to that point, if you do have certain skills that that you can leverage to create speed. You know, for instance, for me, I tried like social media marketing and Facebook stuff. I was like, I'm terrible at this. What do I really know? Well, I really know blogging and SEO. So why don't I just spend my time doing that? Now, for you, it might be I'm really good on camera, so I'm going to focus on video marketing. Cut that timeline down as far as you can based on what you know. You know, that's one thing that I know for sure saved me a lot of time. And to this day, I still don't really focus on other marketing things. I focus on what I know, and I keep perfecting one thing. And but God, Mary, that's just such a great point. I love it.
Yeah, you gotta put your blinders on. I think a lot of people compare themselves to other people. I have to not pay attention to what everybody else is doing in their business all the time. In fact, like when there's all these webinars, I have learned that I can take pieces, not the whole thing. I'm not going to change up my whole strategy because of one webinar, but I can take things from the webinar. So I've kind of learned to really sort and sift through the information and take what I can apply to my business, you know, that I learned, and then other things too. Sometimes I don't really get anything because I've been around a long time and I've seen it all. You know what I mean? So I don't get a lot, but what I will get is, you know, how to correctly present, you know, so maybe a cool idea from the PowerPoint that they used, or wow, that was really cool. I need to figure out how they did that, you know. So there's always something. So you just gotta learn how to read between the lines, I think.
I agree. I think it's very easy to get bogged down with all the webinars, and the webinars are great. I mean, they're all valuable in their own right, but if you're new, it can cause overwhelm, and you don't know what direction to go in. And I had to basically cut out some of the webinars just and focus on our team stuff, because I got more value out of this because everybody knew where I was and they could help me personally, rather than a big webinar that was kind of talking to a broad audience.
Yeah, you have to find yourself before you can become something else. And so, you know, if you don't know who you are, you know, what you're comfortable doing, absolutely expose yourself to a million things, but realize that you're not going to be able to do all of them, you know. And so having the ability to absorb some things and let things, you know, get a feel for, you know, that's interesting. What are you drawn to, and what are your skills? What are you drawn to? And define yourself first, and then make yourself the best version of that. And yeah, I mean, it is hard. I mean, with the amount of content that's in MLSP for free or with your membership, it's just with that alone, it's very difficult. Plus, adding on, you know, all the information that we can give during a week, all the MLSP webinars, it is a lot of information. But like April said, once you find yourself, you can watch all those things and be able to pick out the parts that apply to who you are. So I think finding out for yourself who you are, the methods that you want to focus on, is really an important first step to kind of get yourself going in the right direction.
Yeah, and what I usually tell people to do, because my branding is different, here's the thing, is you want to brand you, okay? A lot of people, they don't understand the branding. They think that, you know, what their marketing is their company, you know, so they're in this great company and they've got pictures of their products as their profile, and, you know, they're marketing the company. And here's the thing, guys, if the company wanted you to do that, they wouldn't need you. You know what I mean? So they wouldn't even need the rep because they can do it themselves. They've already got the brand. They've already got their company name. They've got websites. They've got fan pages. They've got all this stuff. So all you're doing is basically replicating the company, which is completely wrong, and it's going to get you minimal results. Okay? I'm not saying it won't get you any results, but it's not going to get you very good results. You can get way better results by branding you as the leader, as the authority, and that way you're attracting people to you. So, you know, one of the things that I had wished that I had known when I got started, and this is, once again, you know, setting the right expectations for yourself, is that you should brand you, okay? And what I mean by that is, like, you know, making it very congruent, making your message congruent. So you might not really know what's my message right now? Well, your message could be, you know, you know, you help people generate leads. You can have a lot of different messages, and we can always talk about that on the side. But making sure that when you're setting up your Facebook, your LinkedIn, your Twitter, your blog, all of it is congruent with your message. So it's congruent with your brand, and it's congruent with your message, so your mission, or whatever it is that your not mission, I'm sorry, your like tagline. So when you're getting into MLSP and you're going through the process and you're setting it up, if you want, what I usually tell people to do is to, and I know it seems like a lot, but set up your fan page. Set up your LinkedIn. If you don't have a LinkedIn profile, go set it up. If you don't have a YouTube, go set it up. You don't have a blog, go set it up. I usually tell them to start with the blog, so I kind of went in reverse. But usually with the blog, then the fan page, then LinkedIn, then Twitter. Just go set them up, okay? Don't worry about getting followers and all this stuff right away, but have the presence there. And that's the key, is being present there. Because then when you start developing and creating content, then you can syndicate to your Twitter, your LinkedIn, your fan page, your Google+, your Instagram if you want to do that. So not going in and saying, oh my gosh, this is going to be my strategy, but getting it set up and making sure that you have a professional presence over there, so that way when you go to create content, you have somewhere to put it. And then worrying about the audience later, because that will come over time. It's not something that all of a sudden you have an audience right away. But you need those things. You need those channels. What do you guys think?
I agree, and I think all of that, in order to do all those things, you need to find out who you are first. I want to say I saw Urshad come on. Sorry, I don't.
Well, we don't want people to wait till they find out who they are.
Well, you have to. Well, in a way, you have to. You're not going to come up with a tagline for yourself if you don't know who you want to be.
No, we don't want people to put this. Here's the thing: is that can change, and it will change. Because when I joined, I would rather see somebody get it done and then change their tagline or whatever it is whenever they decide what they want to do. I would rather see somebody do it than to think or stop themselves because they don't know right now. I would rather see you go on and say, I help people generate leads, and that's it, than not, you know what I mean? Because if you spend too much time...
That's a great point. That's a great point.
You know what I did, Elliot? Because I'm going to tell you my story. When I started online, there was this big thing about, like, coach. Like, everybody was calling themselves an MLM coach or... it was just like this whole business coach thing. So I decided to name my brand April Marie MLM Coach. So that's why I still to this day I have a hard time, because should I call myself April Marie or should I call myself April Marie Tucker? Because it initially started off as April Marie. That's just what I was going to call myself. Then I was like, okay, April Marie's not available, so I went with April Marie MLM Coach. Well, then there was like this video that went viral on the web that was making fun of all these people calling themselves coaches. So I decided it wasn't a good idea to call myself a coach. So I changed everything. So then I went and bought aprilmarietucker.com, and then I sat there and I literally, with a thesaurus, I had a thesaurus, and I'm not kidding you, was looking up words like guru. What's another word for guru, or a master of something? So that's how I got, specializing in the artistry came from, like, master. And I was literally going through the thesaurus and figuring out what I wanted for my tagline. And today, I'm going to get my blog redone. I'm going to have professional pictures done, probably, I don't know, soon, hopefully. I'm not going to say a time because we never know. But when I do, I'm going to change my tagline. I don't like where it is now. I want it to be more generic, more geared towards lead generation. So even now I'm going to change that. So, I mean, it's always going to change. You're always going to change stuff. Know that nothing is set in stone, because you can change anything. Anything, you can change it. So if you decide that you have found yourself, a year from now, and then all of a sudden you want to, I don't know, be a pianist that helps people generate leads, or however it is that you want to brand yourself. I know some people, like the blues man, he's kind of like the guitar, he's got the guitar on there. So let's say you wanted to do something like that and you wanted to change it, you're more than welcome to do that. And I actually encourage you to do that. I think that if you're not changing, then you're not growing. Then your business isn't growing, because, as you're developing and getting success underneath your belt, things should start to change and ideas will change and everything else.
I think as you move closer to your purpose, you'll get more clarification, and it will change, it will evolve, because you change and you evolve, and you get closer to who you're meant to be. And once you figure that out, I mean, the rest is history, because you're so focused and so clear about the person, the people that you are meant to serve. But until then, you gotta pick something. So just pick something. Yeah. And you'll figure it out. Everyone's not the same,
It's so
for me, at first I was emulating too. I was just emulating what other leaders were doing. So I was basically just copying what they were telling me to do. So, because I didn't have any of my own ideas yet, and that's okay. I want you guys, like, seriously, everybody should be doing that. If you're in that infancy phase, that's okay, because the main idea is to just get out there and take action and do whatever it is that you got to do to start taking action. Don't let the idea flow and all that stuff think you have to know it all right now. Just emulate. Follow the leader right now. That's all you have to do. Go ahead, Elliot. I'll let you talk now. I was kidding.
No, it's fine. I was just going to say it's funny that you, I'll say, corrected me as far as the, I'd rather have someone get it done and then change it later, because that exact scenario has always been my struggle, is trying to get something perfect before I do something with it. And I know Malia gets into that kind of stuff too, where it's like, you want to have it feel exactly right before it actually gets put out there, and that's a huge struggle I still have with things. So.
Yeah, I get that, and oh my gosh, I put a new opt-in on my blog, and I still haven't created the thing, and so people are subscribing to get this free training that I haven't even created yet. I'm so embarrassed because the first person who subscribed, I was like, oh my gosh, I just put it up. I'm so sorry. I'll send it to you when I get it. But this is how much I've changed, like not waiting for perfection. Like I thought of an opt-in. I'm just going to put it up there. I'm going to put it out there. At least I know people want it because they're clicking the button to get it. So that's something. But you guys can hold me accountable. That's something I want to get done this weekend, is to get that opt-in done.
Yeah, I see it right now. I was gonna say maybe you could throw something in there from the back office for now.
Well, actually, I was gonna the new video, the new university video is like perfect because it's 4 steps, and I say 5, but it's perfect for what's there, and it's only 12 minutes.
Yeah, change it to 4 minutes. That's what my header goes to, just an MLSP video. I don't have it going into anything else. That's it. So, and then they get a series of emails that, actually this is an old email series, and it does kind of like walk them through like getting an autoresponder and all kinds of stuff. So it is a little bit different, but yeah. Yeah, so I still, like, a lot of stuff that I do is very copy and paste. I'm an L5 and I still copy paste some stuff, so you don't have to worry too much. You'll get there eventually either way. Whatever route you take, you'll get there as long as you don't give up. So like Mary was saying, I like what she was saying, because it is everybody starts at different levels. For me, I was brand new. I was completely new to business, everything. Very young even, 27 years old. Was I 27? 28? Yeah, 28. So I was still pretty young. I mean, I guess I'm still pretty young now, but I'm 33 now. So even then, but I mean, there's still, like, in your 20s, you're not, really thinking too much about a business usually, So it's just different mindsets and things like that. Now into my 30s, I'm a little bit, I think differently, think more maturely. I'm more
Yeah.
Is that what it took, April? It took being 30?
Yeah. No, it didn't take being 30, but I'm just saying when I started my business, I was naive. I was like, I don't know. I was seriously like, all this money's coming out of my bank account for MySpace ads, and I'm sitting there praying that something happens. Like, please let somebody buy something. Like, that's how I thought the world worked.
I do not recommend anyone get into the MySpace ad business.
Yeah, don't do it.
Stay away from MySpace ads.
MySpace was still kind of cool back then, though.
Yeah, that's true.
I was still on it. I didn't know. So, but I'm sitting there running all these ads, and I seriously was like, I thought I was going to be rich. I thought people were going to buy all these products, and nobody bought anything, and I spent like $2,000, and I couldn't stop the MySpace people from taking all my money. I'm like, how do I get them to stop taking all this money? I didn't know how to turn off the ad. That was a horrible experience. Most people would have quit after that.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
$2,000 for nothing.
Yeah.
I remember telling Jeff, I'm like, I don't know what to do. They just keep debiting my account, and it just like won't stop. Finally, I had to call my bank and say, I don't know how to make it stop, but you need to make it stop because I don't want them to do this. I never could figure out. Like, I didn't even remember where I got signed up for it. Like, so it's just different levels of, just different levels. Everybody comes in at different levels. Everybody does.
Yeah. And you just do have to work towards. You have to work. You have to have a vision. You have to set a goal, and you have to work towards it every single day, no matter where you are.
Yeah.
So definitely, I already had a blog when I came in. I knew how to post on it, so I was in a different place, and that's completely understandable. But no matter where you start, you gotta, whether it's just that getting started training or creating content or understanding what the vocabulary is, whatever that is, you gotta work towards your goal every single day.
Yeah.
And part of that is plugging in, coming to the team, showing up, getting on the calls. The wake-up call in the MLSP wake-up call is phenomenal. Getting on that, coming to the trainings, getting guidance, talking to the person who brought you in. If they're not available, put it out in the group or pull one of us that are here. Any one of us that are here would spend time on the phone with you to help you get to where you need to go. That's just who we are.
Yeah, that's a great thing about this team. It's just the support that from the Skype group I got early on, and being able to kind of pay that back and help other people out is just April's been able to create a group that I don't really think will ever go away, even if she decides she goes L7 and looks down on us, never shows up to a webinar again. I'm guessing that we'll probably still have the group, and we'll be like, yeah, April started this. Oh, April, the L7 April? Yep, that April. Yeah, she doesn't talk to us anymore, but
I think about that a lot, actually, because Elliot, there was every part of me that wanted to quit in the beginning. Every inch of me, and you have no idea, I would fight with Jeff because I was like, I can't do this. I can't do this. I would tell myself, and it was so bad. And he'll tell you stories. I wanted to quit, and he was like, well, fine, go be a cocktail waitress. Go serve drinks for the rest of your life. Go pick up garbage. Because that's what that's the future if you don't keep doing what you're doing, But imagine, and I think about this, and I'm like, wow, all the lives. If I would have just flipped the switch and said, cancel, you guys, I haven't missed a payment in MLSP since I joined back in June of 2010. Okay? But imagine if I would have just flipped the switch and said, I'm not paying for it, I'm done with this, screw this, I'm done. And so, there was a lot of setbacks, there was a lot of things that happened. I had people, yell at me, tell me they're going to tear my house of cards down with emails. I mean, a lot of things happened in the beginning that could have just sent me over the verge that would have just made me quit. And then I wouldn't be impacting all of your guys' lives. I wouldn't be on the morning wake-up calls impacting thousands of people in MLSP. I wouldn't be doing any of this.
That's so cool.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's if you really think about it, all the lives that you won't impact or all the lives that you won't help change if you quit. I mean, that's why I was like, man, it's selfish it's selfish to quit. It's selfish. It's not just you that you're affecting. It's all the people that you could have helped that you're also affecting. Or if you just don't get started. Because really, that's what we're here for. We're here to help people. We're here to help change people's lives. This is a mentoring and teaching business. That's what it is. And if you see it as anything else, if you see it as a meal ticket, you might as well just leave the industry because you're making it look bad. Somebody just took my picture, Amanda. But seriously, that's the way I feel about it. I will, if I see somebody acting stupid online, being deceptive or anything like that, I'll tell them to leave my industry. I've told people that. I said, leave the industry. You're making it look bad. I can't stand people like that. So you want to come in here with the right intentions to help people, help enough people get what they want, you're going to get what you want. I love that. Amanda, actually, when she started, and that's what I was going to say, is Amanda, when she started, like when I talked to her the first time, I mean, she's a photographer. She, owns a website. She's been building websites. I mean, she's got a lot of knowledge, but she was looking for, training on attraction marketing and really like having a system in place, right, Amanda?
Yeah, definitely.
So it's just a different level. Not where I was, that's for sure. That's why I know she's going to do awesome.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, so Amanda does a lot of pictures. Like if you go check out her profile, she's got a lot of cool pictures. She's like a professional photographer and does the branding logos and all of it.
Well, hey, Amanda, are you going to be at Live the Dream?
When's that? I mean, I've seen it.
Talk to her about Live the Dream. We need a photographer. We'll hire our own teammate.
Oh yeah, we should hire her. Yeah, that's a good idea. We're gonna need a photographer. Texas, we're gonna be going September 26th, right, guys? September.
Do we need a photographer?
Yeah, we want to get like actual like professional team photos this time.
Not iPhone photos.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I love that. That's great.
I use my, it's pretty funny. I use a simple HD camcorder with all my work. And everything I do, you would never think I would use just simple equipment.
That's cool.
Yeah. Well, you should see her pictures because they're really professional. Well, actually, Elliot, I think you've seen one of them.
Well, can you put her thing in here so we can go to it?
Yeah, I can. It's on Facebook.
But I don't know her last name. It just says Josh Amanda.
Oh, Amanda, do you mind? I'm not going to put it.
That's fine. Oh, Amanda Wingborn.
Yeah. If you just look her up on Facebook, I think, because she's Sizzle, Malia.
Yeah, I do YouTube videos as well, tutorials. I've actually been doing that for, I think, a year.
Wow. Yeah, so she does all these, like she's got a new for our 3D lash mascara. She's got a new picture up for it. It's really cool. Anyways, we'll chat with her when we're done. So does anybody want to add anything? Like we talked on, I mean, we haven't heard from Jeff. Jeff, did you want to add?
No, I've been quiet. I've been taking everything in, but you guys are awesome. I enjoy being on these webinars with you guys every week. I know that I can agree with what Adriana was saying when you first get started. I came into MLSP on the 2-week trial, and I got lost in all the information. And once I got through that and got to moving, got into the co-op and things like that, things have started really kicking off good. I've gotten probably 130 leads now just from the co-op and Instagram, so it's been really awesome.
And that's great. That is awesome.
Awesome.
Now my next move is to get the blog in place. I haven't started doing that yet, so working on doing that. I'm going to use the company April that you sent to me to get that in place.
Awesome.
See what I can get going with that. But I'm real happy with what I'm seeing.
Awesome. Yeah, you got it. I've had a lot of conversations with you, Jeff, too, and you got it. You know that it's a process and that you understand it, But here's the thing, is that it's a process either way. Most people, it's like so funny because people, they want, like, they're not willing to, they don't understand. They're always looking for the shortcuts. A lot of people do this, and I used to do this too. I would always be like, okay, but where's the shortcut? Okay, I understand, but there's got to be a shortcut. Like, no, this can't be it. There is shortcuts, and the shortcut is MLSP. The shortcut is this team. The shortcut is getting a mentor and emulating what they're doing. Doing what they tell you to do. Those are the shortcuts. The shortcuts are not like little tweaks that you can make to have overnight success, without whatever short. I mean, there's just not any other shortcut. I've looked underneath every rock and everything, so it's just not there. Used to always be like, are they serious?
But that in April, that's exactly why you see so many people in the industry and even in MLSP. I mean, you have people going from you know, from company to company to company, from team to team to team, to product to product to product, searching for that magic bullet, not realizing that it actually doesn't exist. And the only magic bullet that exists is time, patience, and effort. And you know, that really, it really is that, you know.
Yeah, that's the only thing it is. Yeah, you have to put the only catch. I love it when Jeff always says the only catch is hard work. But he always, you know, and he always says too, but you're not underneath the car with a blowtorch. That is like the truth. I'm not at the casino running around in high heels. Do I work hard? Yeah. But guess what, guys? I'm building my business from my mobile phone right now. I'm not kidding you. I signed up 2 masteries today. I signed up 2 yesterday. I mean, I'm not doing anything too crazy. I'm on my mobile phone. I get on live hangouts. I do a morning wake-up call once a week. That to me isn't that hard. It might seem hard at first because at first it was overcoming, you know, some fear and stuff like that of getting on camera and, you know, getting on live calls and stuff like that. But after you get over that initial phase, it's easy. You know, then it's just, you know, a little bit of preparation and you're ready to rock and roll. It's not that hard. In fact, I've really kind of let up on the content. I mean, I do a piece of content. I maybe do 1 or 2 pieces of content a week. But, I mean, I've kind of let up on that. And mostly what I'm focusing on is just my mobile phone and Instagram. I mean, that's all I'm focusing on right now. And I'm getting amazing results. And we've got the co-op going on. So, I mean, it's amazing the different things that you can do. But, you know, remember, it's not like you're working super hard all the time or anything. You know, you're just working. It's not work. To me, it's not work when you enjoy what you do. But at first, it is a lot of setup and stuff like that. So, I don't know. I thought I'd throw that little bit in there. Rashad, we haven't heard from you. You want to chime in anything?
No, just soaking it all in. I guess I'll take a little break there for a little bit. But thanks to Elliot just for helping me out. I mean, you guys made 2 points, and I could see both sides of it. Somebody said something a long time ago about ignorance on fire is better than knowledge on ice, something like that, to that effect. But basically, get going. You know, don't have paralysis by analysis. And I think I was kind of there, you know, for a little bit. So I definitely wanted to be on this training about mindset. I mean, you're so right when you're saying that you can't quit because it's not about you. It's about, you know, the legacy that you're going to leave behind. It's about the people and the reason why you got into all the marketing. I mean, I've been traditional marketing for 20 years as a recruiter, right? Because you're marketing jobs and positions for companies. And I guess you get so set in one way of doing things that you almost train yourself to be myopic in how you market and what you say and how you do it, and it's got to be a certain way. And I don't know, I guess I'm just taking a leap of faith and saying, you know what, burn the boat, let's just go do this thing. That's just where I'm at right now. So.
Yeah.
Did I just go off on a tangent? Everybody got quiet there. Sorry.
No. I liked it. I'm glad you can go off on a tangent. We've all been going off on tangents. There's a lot to be said about this topic because, like I said, it's like, well, Elliot's like, let's go for 4 hours. I'm not willing to do that tonight, but it is one of those things that it can be talked about a lot because there's a lot of different ideas and theories and you know, there's a lot to go into mindset. There's so much, and that's why it's such a broad. But I wanted to talk about setting the right expectations and having the right type of mindset along with those expectations when coming in. You know, understanding that it's not like all of a sudden you're going to have this positive mindset, but understand that a lot of the things that you believe about yourself, about your business, they're not true. They're limiting beliefs. They're not true. So, like I was saying, like when I first got started, I would look at everybody on the webinars and I would think that they were like famous superstars, and I couldn't even ever compare myself to them because they were like totally out of my league. You know, and that was a limiting belief that I had for myself. And I would think to myself, well, what kind of value do I have to give anybody? I've never done anything. You know, I don't have any success. I've never generated any leads. So a lot of my value at first was like just mindset stuff, like just inspiration, or, you know, a quick tip on how to call your leads, or, you know, it was just really simple, basic stuff. And everything that I did, believe it or not, I didn't have a YouTube channel. So it all went up onto my Facebook. So I would click the button to record my video, and then I would upload the video to Facebook, and I would tag people in it, and I would be done. And I couldn't believe it worked, you guys, seriously. Like, that for me, like, I was like, okay, we'll see if this works when I joined. I'm sure you guys were probably like that too when you joined MLSP. You're like, okay, I'll join and we'll see if this works. So when I started doing what they were saying to do, and then I started getting some interaction and people were contacting me and all this stuff, I was like, wow, I can't believe this actually works. Like, I didn't believe that it would, and it did. And so, you know, sometimes you have to prove that to yourself. So then, of course, then I was like, wow, I'm getting leads. Wow, works awesome. So, you know, I ended up sticking with it and wanting more of, you know, leads and all of this stuff. So it's kind of cool. Anybody else want to add to that? Elliot, I see you're smirking.
No, I just think the whole topic tonight has been great and important, and you know, everyone's situation is a little bit different, and so when we can go into, you know, and talk to 8 different people about what their struggles were, or what they were dealing with and how they overcame it, I think that has the potential to help a lot of different people. So I love this kind of topic, and so I'm just happy to be here.
Yeah, I think for myself, the most important shift that I've made is in mindset, and that means getting on the wake-up calls and listening to, you know, some type of teaching every single day, and just a little thing. My husband and I were talking about our goals yesterday, and you know, I'm a dreamer. I have, you know, big things. I told Mary next year we're gonna be in Bora Bora together, you know, and excuse me, to me that's very realistic. Like, we're gonna go hard and we're gonna go on a trip together, you know. And my husband, he's an accountant by trade. He's very analytical, and so we're talking about our individual goals, and he says to me, your dreams are idealistic, and he thinks that the words idealistic and realistic are synonymous, and I had to kind of explain to him that something ideal implies perfection, and nothing's perfect, and something real means tangible, and it's something that I'm going to attain. And it's not his intention to say language that I don't use, but my point in this is that being around people that think like you and have similar goals is really important, because like you guys probably understand very quickly the difference between something idealistic and something realistic, where I have to have a long conversation hoping that my husband understands that the language that he's using could be detrimental to my success, you know, which it isn't, because I won't allow it to affect me in that way. And it's not his fault. It's the way that we've been brought up, you know. But it's just really nice to be around people that have, you know, big dreams and big goals, and that have a similar dream that I have, and I hope that my actions and the way that I use language will teach my husband eventually, but it's not something that is going to happen overnight. And so it's just really nice to be able to connect with people that are like-minded.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's really important too. You know what is funny? Because I didn't have like this, and that's why I set it up. I set up like lots of support. You guys got a ton of it, you know what I mean? But when I started, I just had Jeff, but Jeff didn't know anything. Jeff was like, I don't know. Let me see if I can get somebody that can help you. That's the thing, right? So, you know, that was for me really important because I saw other leaders in like MLSP and other teams and things like that, and they had support. They had, you know, private groups. And so I was like, I need to do that for my team because I need to make sure that they have all the support that they need. So, and at first it was kind of discouraging because, you know, I didn't have a lot of people in the group. I didn't have a lot of people there. There was a lot of, you know, I mean, when you've got a little team, people are quitting, they're coming and going. It was like, okay, you know, this is kind of discouraging a little bit because I was looking at it as, you know, how many people are in it, how many people are active, you know, stuff like that. And I didn't feel successful because, you know, people would quit and things like that. So I would pay too much attention to the things that were like the stuff, the bad stuff, like the negative stuff. I wasn't paying attention to the good things, like the good things that were happening in my business, like the success I was having for that day, like the fact that I generated, you know, 5 or 10 leads that day, you know, or I signed up somebody that day, but oh my gosh, I was thinking about all the people that quit and, you know, just all the, you know, maybe somebody who did something mean to me that day or whatever, and I was thinking way too much about the negative things that were going on rather than anything good that was happening. So at first when I started those groups, guys, it wasn't like, it was kind of discouraging. Sometimes I was like, man, do I even want these stupid groups? You know, because they weren't like the other leaders. The other leaders had thriving, good groups. They were like, you know, everybody was happy there, and I felt like my group wasn't like thriving, you know. But I just stuck with it, and I still have the same group on Skype that I started like 3. In fact, Cliff has been in this group since he joined, like almost 4 years ago. So I've had this Skype group for a long time. That was one of the things that I initially did, like right off the bat, was I started my own stuff because what did I do? I saw what the other leaders were doing. I always say this. I looked at, like, you know, at the time it was like David Wood and all these people. Michelle wasn't even in. Like, there was all different people. Ray Higgin. So I went and I looked at what they were doing, and I went and I did it. That's all I did. I said, okay, they've got groups, they've got a blog, they're on Skype, they have a fan page, they have, you know what I mean? And I literally just modeled them. I just modeled them, even to their blog posts. Like, how did they format their blog posts? How did they do their videos? I would go watch their videos so I could emulate them. That's what I did. I just emulated at first. I had no, and to this day, a lot of my style comes from because I emulated a lot of the leaders that I first saw. I mean, I still, to this day, I mean, of course, I have my own, you know, little unique way about me now, but, you know, I still have some of those traits, too, the things that I just learned, you know, from just emulating and watching what other leaders are doing. So that's how, I mean, as soon as I saw that they had groups and stuff, I was like, well, I need a group. And then I saw some leader, they had a, like, secret vault for their blog, for, like, training for their team. Went and set that up. You know, I just started seeing what I liked that leaders were doing, and I just did it. Just like Malia does that, too, a lot. You just emulate.
The thing I like sorry, April.
No, I'm done. I'm done.
I was going to say, the thing I like about that story is, so I think people believe once they start having success, they may not have any failures, or they may not have any roadblocks. And in that story, you were finding success, yet you were still struggling. And again, you just applied that very simple tip. You just kept doing it. You just kept doing it. You never quit. And I think it's really important that people hear that, because even though you're going to find success, if you stick with it long enough, you're still going to have failure. I don't know if anybody's seen that image of the road to success, and it's like all squiggly lines.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that's it. I mean,
well, ideally, the more people you have joining, the more people you're going to have quitting. It's just the same thing. The more people you have joining your list, the more people you're going to have unsubscribing.
Mm-hmm.
Because, you know, and I don't look at, I guess now, today, I don't look at people quitting in my business as a failure to me, because I know that's on them. You know what I mean? I know that they, you know, they have their own little thing that they're doing, so they're fine. But that's not anything to do with me. But back then, yeah, it felt like failure. I felt like, it was almost like watching all your work go down the drain. Like, oh my gosh, I spent all these hours with this person. And back then, like, I seriously would teach people how to copy and paste on the computer. Like, I thought that their success was up to me. Like, I don't know why I thought this, but I had this really big misperception that I had to, like, hold their hand and help them every little last bit of the way. And, you know, I had people that had no idea even how to copy and paste, and I'm sitting there mentoring them, and here you go, we're on TeamViewer, and I'm showing them how to do each and every little thing. And, you know, even though there's videos in MLSP, it's like I had to get on screen share to show them how to watch the videos. That's how bad it was. And then when like if they didn't like if they quit, then I took it very personally, because I'm very serious about my business. So, you know, like I said, I was really naive about a lot of things, but for me, it was very personal for me to help people. Like, it was almost like when I was talking on the call about feeling fulfilled. That's how I felt fulfilled. Like, I felt like I was doing good, and it was really important to me to make sure that people were doing good too, you know? So when people would quit or whatever, I took it really personally, and I wish I knew what I knew now, because I would have saved myself probably a lot of heartache. You know what I mean? Because now I'm not like that at all. Now I know, usually when I talk to people, I kind of give them a little bit of their own little time and space after I've talked to them, to let them get settled in, and then we'll see where they go. I don't even, you know, if people drop off, that's fine now. But back then, it was just totally different. So yeah, it felt like failure back then, and I felt like it was like constant pulling, you know, like a tug of war. Like, I would bring people in, and then people would fall off, and it, you know what I mean? And it would just feel like sometimes endless. And I told Jeff, I remember telling Jeff, because he's like, well, you know, April, like, you know, 90% of the people that you recruit are going to quit. 80, 90, whatever. And I'm like, the hell am I doing this for? I mean, I don't think this is going to work. How is that going to work? If they're all going to quit, well, how's that going to work? You know, and he explained it to me that it's who they lead you to and all this stuff, and it made sense to me. But at first I was like, are you kidding me? Are you like taking me for a fool? What am I doing this stupid stuff for? You know? But you know, like, once again, it was just being very naive, you know, not understanding how the industry worked. That was the reason why, like, when I joined network marketing, I told Jeffrey, this is the first thing I said. He's like, well, just give me your credit card. We need the product. So I'm like, here you go, but don't expect me to sell anything while I'm running out the door to go to work. That was, like, I wasn't excited. I was like, don't expect me to sell anything. I had this whole idea that network marketing was a selling business. I was supposed to sell products because I had bad experiences in the past. My mom told me it was from the devil. You know, I mean, I had a lot of misperceptions. So imagine growing up, like, seriously, I remember the first time my girlfriend's like, she wanted me to take me to a Primerica meeting, I think it was. And so I told my mom about it, and I'm like, well, she's saying I could make all this money and selling this insurance and stuff, and she's like, stay away from that. It's from the devil. So I always thought that network marketing was from the devil. See? So I had a lot of limiting beliefs starting off, and you know, everybody always likes the story. They like the David and Goliath, the story of, you know, like David and Goliath, and that's kind of like me. You know, that's kind of my story, because I started off with really bad mindset, no skills at all, not knowing anything, And you know, and I just stuck with it, you know. So I've been here a while, but I've mastered a few things, and I've gotten good at my craft. And this is you know, you can achieve it all. You can, and that's the thing. So all right, guys, I'm ready to call it a night. What do you think? Gary's leaving.
Let's wrap her up.
All right, awesome.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone, for coming on. You guys were all awesome and amazing. Thank you, Mary, for speaking out tonight, and Malia. Everybody's very interactive. I'm so happy.
Except me.
Yeah,
I'll warm up.
it was a fun one.
You were too, Amanda. You were really good. So was Jeff. Everybody was. Ershad. Everybody spoke tonight. Yay! I'm happy about that. All right. Well, everybody. Adriana spoke a lot tonight too. Next Thursday we'll have training. Okay, so really quick before we go, I wish Mary would have heard this. Sunday night, if you're in the co-op, we are going to go over stats Sunday night at 9:15 Eastern with Emmanuel. So he's going to get on with us and share stats on the co-op and all that stuff. We are getting ready for the next co-op. So that should happen. I mean, we're still running this one, but next month we'll start the new co-op. So if you haven't already, make sure that you get that taken care of. If you have any questions, you can let me know, and I will answer them and stuff like that. So look forward to Sunday night. I know there's quite a few on here that are in the co-op. So Emmanuel's going to share with us stats and, you know, where he's advertising and what he's doing and all this stuff. So you'll definitely want to show up for that one, and I'll see you guys Sunday then. So we'll have Sunday, and then we'll do Thursday. In fact, I was thinking about, well, maybe I'll just switch training to Sunday, and I wasn't going to do tonight. And then I was like, no, you just need to do training. And I'm glad I did now. See? It all turned out. Yay!
Thursdays are fun.
Yeah, Thursdays are fun. I like our group. Our group is so awesome. Our team, awesome. All right, everyone. Thank you so much. Have a good night.
It's nice meeting you all. Bye.
Bye, everybody.